Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at what are their potential actions towards you. There are 3 groups to choose from, and before I get into them, I just wanted to say that I'm very excited about the selection of crystals in today's video. My cousin just sent these to me, and I don't know if she's watching this video, but if you are, thank you again so much. So for group 1, it is this Unakite, along with these cards. Group 2 is this Carnelian, along with these cards. And group 3 is this Kimberlite, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection, and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, group 1. You chose the Unakite along with these cards, which I will start with to get a feel for what is this person's potential actions towards you. We've got second chakra, Archangel Ariel, envy, indecision, shaman, ancient healing wisdom, clouds, shape-shifting, and lotus flower, unfoldment. So this is definitely somebody who's at a crossroads with this indecision card. Somebody who might be in the process of kind of going back and forth about the method of wanting to reach out to you, move in your direction. Maybe they are at a distance from you geographically and could be making some plans to travel towards you, perhaps even some other things that have come up in their life, some other opportunities for travel that will put them in closer proximity to you. And with that, sort of this element again of making plans, making preparations, opening themselves up to the possibility of what if they run into you? What if they encounter you while they're just out and about, doing whatever it is that they might be doing in this particular location, or recognizing this as an opportunity to come out of some kind of stalemate energy, some kind of silence, and to really seize the moment, to make some kind of communication, open the door to some kind of plan or some kind of meeting or encounter, maybe getting together for coffee, getting together for lunch, coming over to your house perhaps, or trying to meet up in sort of a mutual location so that you can move beyond whatever sort of stuck energy or distance exists between you. With this idea here with second chakra, Archangel Ariel, and this is really talking about the sacral chakra. There's a sense of this person maybe having been on some kind of voyage in their own life recently or up to this point, also with shaman, with the ancient healing wisdom of dealing with some kind of residual traumas or wounds surrounding love, surrounding maybe incidents of betrayal in previous relationships, even kind of issues stemming from childhood and the way that maybe their love was rejected by a parent, or they were made to feel that they weren't good enough or had to sort of prove themselves, prove their worth, prove their lovability, maybe having that love withdrawn also for times and instances where they sort of deviated from what was expected of them, expressing their authenticity and being rejected in a variety of ways that could have led to this sense of guardedness about engaging in deep intimacy with others. That can be deep intimacy on a physical and literal level in terms of relationships, but also the deep intimacy that occurs when one is truly vulnerable and authentic about their needs, about their fears, about their desires and wants. This person could have really sort of become accustomed with this idea of shape-shifting, kind of this energy of being a chameleon, fitting into whatever environment, really testing and sort of anticipating the energies and expectations of others, and then contorting themselves to fit into that, to blend into that, keeping a lot of that authenticity kind of hidden back. This feels like somebody as well with this envy card here who is, again, sort of used to maybe dwelling in that sort of shadowy energy, that energy of kind of withdrawal, of holding back on that authenticity, not just in this connection, but in other areas of their life in general, that they may have been in this process of really doing some healing work within themselves. Maybe they have been working with a shaman to, or some other kind of healer, maybe even Eastern medicine is coming in strongly, so maybe things to do with acupuncture might have been kind of a modality that they had turned to, kind of beyond sort of the Western methods of therapy, although that could definitely factor in, but it feels like somebody who has really sought to kind of dig down into the energetic roots, these core wounds within them that through more traditional methods they've been unable to really access, to really tap into or dislodge from themselves. So some particular kind of spiritual practice. This can even just involve meditation practices, mantras that they've been saying. Again, work to kind of clear and heal some blockages within particular chakras, to really harness some kundalini energy as well that perhaps this connection had activated within the two of you. And this feels like somebody who in the separation has really used this to their advantage, has really taken this opportunity, this separation, or even just this time in their life in general, separate from this connection, to kind of do some of that core healing, address some of these wounds within themselves, to come out of this energy of feeling that they need to kind of dim their light to fit into circumstances, that they need to kind of dwell in this shadowy aspect, keep parts of themselves reserved in order to sort of survive in their environments, and kind of how that is then manifesting in what you've experienced with them in the past, where, you know, they were unable to sort of step out of that place of being very guarded, being very resistant to allow people to see that authenticity or to really touch on those core components within them. So a lot of work that they've done personally, again, maybe this is something even regarding one of these spiritual practices, some kind of a retreat or a gathering that might put them in closer physical proximity to you, or something that they have accomplished and achieved and discovered while at a distance is creating this urge to kind of move back in your direction, to come out from the shadows and step forth into the radiance of this connection. This definitely feels with this kind of golden scenery here. It's very much akin to this energy of the sacral chakra, the second chakra there. So again, this sort of feeling, and with the word envy, kind of somebody who's been on the outskirts looking in, on the outside of their own life, kind of looking in, wishing for this closeness, for this vibrance, this very tangible and a layer of depth to connectedness that they might not have been able to experience, or had kind of shut themselves off from after maybe a significant heartbreaks or a series of rejections. But there is a sense of this person maybe just energetically tapping into this connection, into you from afar. This can also be the energy of somebody who's been watching from afar and is now at this place where some sort of healing or awareness has come to them. Maybe downloads that they have been getting, some clarity that has come, that they've worked through a significant amount of blocks within themselves. And this is somebody who's ready to kind of come out of those shadows, kind of emerge out of these deep and emotional waters that they have been swimming through. Some clarity that has come to them about maybe how they pushed this connection away in the past, and that was really sort of endemic of some kind of a distortion within themselves, some kind of a feeling of unworthiness, a feeling that the love they had to give was not good enough, and so they've kind of held that back, or just sort of contained that for themselves in order to kind of keep close and keep safe. This core within them, this purity and this vibrance of love within them that may have been underappreciated by others in their past, or which they were at a place of kind of not valuing for themselves. But something has significantly shifted, and it is creating this urge for movement. This can even just be somebody who is kind of on the brink with shape-shifting of sort of drafting some kind of communication to you. This could be something then that's coming in from a distance, so something online, maybe a text message or an email, some kind of a direct message on social media. And with that element of indecision, this almost feels like something where they lean into that, they draft something, some form of communication, and before they hit send, they sort of pull back and delete it, or save it as a draft, save it for later, that it feels like it's not the right time. But they're right at this crossroads period of the energies being ripe within themselves, within what they can feel about the connection, maybe even certain circumstances in their life, other crossroads periods that they find themselves in, where a decision needs to be made for them in kind of a grand way and in a multi-level way in their life. Are they going to choose the path of love, choose the path of healing, or are they going to continue to play small and remain in this kind of cloak of fear, sort of operating from the shadows? There's an invitation that has been presented to this person, maybe some other opportunities that have presented themselves, some other sort of transitions and changes in their life, some goals that they've been working for that are now coming to fruition, that is starting to help them kind of regain their confidence. It's starting to be sort of the fruits of the labors, of the toils, of the work, of trusting in that passion, trusting in some kind of a dream or a goal or a vision, even this dream or goal or vision of kind of alleviating the pain that they have been living with, changing their life in some significant way, recognizing patterns within themselves. Again, this idea of maybe kind of people pleasing or contorting themselves, minimizing their own needs in order to allow others to shine more brightly, in order to allow others to really have the final say, even in affecting this person's moods. So a little bit of codependency could be kind of going on here with this person that they've been trying to work on. Sort of this idea of filling their own cup, finding their own value and worth independent of how others are receiving that. Somebody who's stepping into that authenticity unapologetically, and through this work that they've done on themselves, kind of from that stems this energy of they're sort of building up to this place of empowerment with this sacral chakra energy. It's bringing in this idea of they're moving up then into that solar plexus. Into that empowered center, into that confidence center, into that very action-oriented center. Again, this idea of kind of stepping out of the shadows and out into the light. So this person could be watching you on social media, maybe following you from a fake account, or just kind of observing you, observing what's going on, what you're posting. If you have any kind of social media presence, this could be somebody who is sort of in the peripheral of your life. Maybe this is somebody that you work with, or somebody that you do live around, you do live in proximity to, that has kind of taken note of you, is sort of paying attention, even though they may be giving the impression of not being concerned, or their attention being directed elsewhere. This is kind of that energy of the stolen glances. So somebody who's almost watching when you don't know that they're watching. And that what they're seeing about you, what they're discovering about themselves and what they're healing within themselves, is allowing them to perceive you and the potential that exists in this connection from a new light. As sort of you have been working toward healing some wounds within yourself, stepping into that very empowered state, stepping into your authenticity, and really kind of bringing that out into the forefront of your life and into how you move through the world. All of this as a byproduct has been almost this inspirational energy to this person, a bit of envy, this desire to achieve that state of glowing that you have, to kind of attain that place of authenticity and fearlessness, even the courage to engage in some healing work within yourself, to address some core wounds within yourself. If you've been at all sort of tracking this journey, very public about this journey, maybe even in how you are dealing with people, and telling your backstory a little bit, or what it is that you've been going through. All of this, if this person is able to kind of pick up on that, see that, hear about that, it's inspiring them to take some kind of action. It has inspired them, as much as you are maybe not aware, it has inspired them on some level to, again, shift from maybe some coping mechanisms or tendencies within this person, to really dig deep, and to understand sort of their motivations about things, and to then implement sort of a plan of action, or a commitment to doing better, to changing themselves from the inside out. And the changes that they have made have now kind of reached this point of sort of the next level of that is maybe coming back with an apology, or expressing their feelings when they may have held those back before, to kind of end this energy of, again, distance or stalemate or silence by really coming forth. And somebody who also, with this idea of lotus flower, and it's kind of sitting on this pond or this lake here, and this really is talking about this depth of emotion. Somebody that doesn't want to come in with just they might start off very casually, just to kind of get to know each other again, kind of familiarize one another with each other's energy, and kind of rebuild that trust. But this is somebody who, if they had held back previously, this is a turning point of wanting to give more than they had in the past, wanting to open up their heart more, to allow you into that inner sanctum in a way that they may not have allowed anyone in before, or in a very long time. That part of this person's healing journey, and what they feel very compelled to sort of shift in this connection at this point in time, is this energy of transparency, is this energy of depth, is this energy of giving, where in the past they may have kind of held back. As much as they would have been compelled, it was very much outside of the comfort zone. This is somebody whose wounds were really calling the shots for the most part in their actions, and how they were kind of interacting with you, and even with other people. So some major transformations that have happened and that are occurring within this person, a lot of healing that is taking place, and this desire to then sort of carry that momentum of healing forth into some kind of a decisive action, or a shift in direction. For some of you, this can even just be somebody who has kind of held themselves back, that is now at this point of consciously directing their focus to this connection, instead of being in denial of it, turning their back to it. This is somebody who's kind of doing this about face, who's wanting to, put the focus on this, to explore this, to feel into this, to feel their fears and allow these to dissipate and move through that fear to whatever potential or possibility exists for the two of you further on the horizon. So it does feel like for a lot of you that this could be somebody who's on kind of this brink of some sort of a communication, reaching out, or, and in a sense of not just for a limited one-time sort of thing, a hi, how are you, and then back off into the shadows. This feels like somebody who is at this point of wanting to reach out to, again, either make plans to get together so you two can reconnect, start to get to know each other again, reestablish the relationship again, or somebody who, wants to kind of open those lines of communication between the both of you so that you can start talking again, so that you can start really saturating yourselves very consciously in the energy that exists between the two of you. Definitely poised in the direction of healing, somebody that doesn't want to come back in and create more sort of dissonance or misery in this connection, but somebody who wants to come back in from this state of healing which has occurred or is kind of an active work in progress within them, and somebody who then wants to, again, kind of provide that or open the door to that possibility in this connection between the two of you as well. So I'm going to get a little bit of tarot to get some clarification about this for you. Group 1. Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles. So this is definitely that energy with envy here, and kind of somebody who's been lurking in the shadows, somebody who feels very much on the outskirts of your life. They may have even been the one to put themselves kind of on the sidelines of this connection, on the sidelines of your life. But from this place of distance, they have been observing you, they have been watching you, they have been witnessing your glow up, or through the work that they've been doing on themselves, are able to perceive and appreciate and understand kind of the sanctum that this connection, that the energy between the both of you, that it really is, that it really exudes, the potential that exists there. There's this desire within this person to come out of this period of separation, come out of this sort of woe is me energy, or come out of this place of kind of distance and iciness and return back into the warmth of that tangible connection, return back into that space of participating actively instead of just watching from afar. But somebody who could also, again, with this indecision and kind of this hesitation, there could still be a little bit of lack mentality that they're dealing with, where again, if they're sort of trying to create a plan of action towards you, or are in this process of kind of drafting communications only to not be satisfied with these things, there's some kind of a block of fear that it feels very much an active process, that as much as they are kind of knocked down by this, they're getting back up, they're persisting, they're continuing with this. It's this idea of almost kind of feeling their way in the dark along this kind of wall in order to really find that latch or that handle to be able to open this door, to be able to move from that space of distance and of blockage and of separation, and to allow some fresh energy to infuse this connection, allow the fresh energy that they have cultivated within themselves to be introduced into the dynamic and the bond that still exists between the both of you, again, for the purposes of kind of healing and moving beyond, moving back into kind of becoming a safe space for one another again, or really moving into this energy of wanting to kind of capitalize on the potential that exists in this connection with this energy of Pentacles. Somebody who doesn't just want to sit in this kind of mental energy, this longing energy, this heart space energy. It feels like somebody who's done enough of that and is now ready to take some kind of concrete action, that now's the time, or the time is approaching, to make some kind of a definitive choice and to offer something of a tangible nature, in the hopes that you will accept that, whatever that is, and that you two can rebuild. But, in the off chance that you're in a different place in your life, or you're just not ready to kind of open the door to this, that nevertheless it provides you with some kind of clarity and some kind of truth that you've not been out of sight, out of mind with this person, that in kind of in the distance, in the separation, there has been this internal alchemy that has occurred with them. They want to be able to present you a very different version of themselves than you may have been dealing with before as well. And we've got the Six of Wands, so a card of victory there. And this person, again, really persisting, pushing through any of that fear. Very much of the mindset of kind of an unstoppable energy, trying to remain very positive, very optimistic about this. Their goal is definitely, in mind. A decision has been made that either some kind of an apology is owed or the time is ripe in order to kind of move this connection beyond where it has been for quite some time or recently. And somebody who, again, as much as there's that kind of fear factor that's going on, that indecision and a little bit of lack mentality, the overall momentum is one that is headed toward a very positive outcome. This feels like somebody who, again, kind of persists and pushes through, and as much as they might be kind of knocked back by fear, this is someone who keeps getting up, keeps being persistent, keeps kind of exploring this from different angles, how to approach, what to say, when the time is right. But through that kind of process of deliberation and contemplation, there is forward progress that is being made. For every option that they are exploring that they are then, they kind of shy away from, or they determine that it doesn't capture the full depth and meaning and potential of what they want to convey. This is somebody who's trying again. They're, kind of reframing that. They're editing, they're rewording, they're looking at things from a different angle. This is somebody who's very active in their involvement with this urge or this desire or this feeling, being very compelled towards you. And we've got Seven of Pentacles. So again, this kind of energy of waiting. They don't want to come in impulsively. They want to come in with something that is solid, is meaningful. There could be other factors at play. In terms of, maybe needing to, with that energy of kind of watching you from afar, trying to kind of determine, where are you at in your life? Are you open in the heart space? Are you seeing anybody? Are you taken? Are you single? What would this look like? If geography is a distance, maybe some things that are needing to kind of come to fruition, some kind of, an event that is occurring in a kind of a future time period, or, travel plans and preparations that have to be made, research that is occurring, where it's not just as simple as, step out the door and walk over to your house, for example. This could, require kind of these other sort of factors to come into alignment, or some kind of a time to elapse before, they are able to kind of sort of pluck the meat, the fruit of what it is that they want to do in this situation and present you with something, provide you with something. This can also really talk about kind of divine timing being at play as well. So this person, again, this really feeds into that energy of momentum, where as much as fear might kind of push them back or knock them down, there's a sense of persistence here, a sense of, not being discouraged by that, but really feeling this idea of try again, keep going, keep pressing, keep looking at this from different angles. And eventually when the time is right, the correct solution, the correct wording, the correct plan of action forward will be made known. Any kind of roadblocks that exist between you at this point in time, there's a sense of kind of patience with this and allowing these things to unfold or to fall away, or again, kind of maybe some date in the future that they have marked on their calendar, and kind of counting down the days until that point. This could even be something, a significant event, maybe some kind of a birthday or an anniversary. Something that is relevant to your time together previously or at this point with this person, and something that they're planning for that occasion to surprise you, to really present something to you, to kind of reemerge in this energy of victory, in this very celebratory state because of this healing that they've done, this kind of transmutation of a lot of things. And so again, really timing factoring into this, wanting this to be just right, to be something very special and momentous for you. And we also got Seven of Cups, so card of choice there. And again, this idea of kind of with that indecision of many things that are being strategized. This person really kind of, even if they have some future date that they are waiting for, travel plans, a flight that has been booked, or again, some kind of a birthday and anniversary, something very significant. They're not just they're not just letting that time in between, this point of now and that future point, they're not just allowing themselves to remain idle. There's a lot of plans, there's a lot of thoughts, there's a lot of, maybe scripting within themselves, making sure to kind of create this list within themselves, or maybe even literally, of some key points that they want to touch on, some things that, maybe need to be addressed, some difficulties and issues from the past, in order to kind of smooth those emotional waters so that the two of you can then turn the page and move forward in some way. This is also somebody who's entertaining the idea that they may just have one chance to reach out. There's a possibility that you will reject them, that you will not want to hear what they have to say, and will close the door to them, or will not respond, or whatever the case is. So there's a sense here of really wanting to get this right, really wanting to make sure that they cover all their bases, that they say everything that needs to be said in that period of time, in that window of opportunity, in the hopes that something new can come of this, but at the very minimum, so that, if this is the final encounter with you, if this is the one and only opportunity, that they've left nothing unsaid, that they have come to you in authenticity, when in the past it might have been this kind of energy of being guarded or cloaked, or sort of reserved. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you, group 1, and see what do they want to tell you right now. Okay, and they say, I only want to make things right between us. So again, that energy of wanting to come in correct, wanting to make sure that they, if they've held back in the past, they don't want to hold back at this point. They really want to move things forward in this connection, even if that's just in the sense of, giving you some peace and closure. But for the most part, this does feel like somebody who's ready for a new opportunity, or has finally come to this place of preparedness within themselves, where they're ready to take up the mantle that this love offers them. They're ready to, step into that energy of victory. They're ready to allow themselves to be shaped and transformed in the best way possible by this connection and the energy you share between you. They also say, I lost you once and I am not going to lose you again. So more of that energy of wanting to come in correctly, wanting to make sure that they get everything right, that they say what needs to be said, that if they've held back in the past, that this is the energy of transparency this time around. Somebody who feels that they've got one shot, one opportunity. And so it's, it better be good. If they're coming back out of the shadows, or they're, kind of making some kind of effort to shift and transmute the state of this connection, the energy between the both of you. It's something which they may have been planning and thinking about for a while. There's a lot that's being invested in this in terms of emotional energy, and with all this pentacles, concrete, tangible plans. So this isn't just somebody, again, that's kind of sitting in that mental space thinking about what if. This is somebody who is creating a plan. Wheels have been set in motion. Dominoes have started to fall. A certain clock is now ticking the hours until that point of intersection, till that point of action, until that that period when the time is right, or if this is somebody who's kind of waiting for that sign. They're very observant. They're taking everything in. Their eyes are open to kind of the world around them. Somebody who may be communicating deeply with their spirit team, with their higher self, with Source, who's really, praying for strength, praying for guidance, praying for a sign about, when the right time is, really seeking to, again, kind of move beyond any bits of fear that sort of creep up and kind of set this person back a few steps in this forward momentum. Somebody who's very determined to, give it their best to try and make a difference in this situation, to provide to you, to prove to you something which in the past they held back on, or that they don't feel they were, adequately able to do. That whatever was conveyed or presented, whatever feelings have kind of been sort of left to linger between you, this is something that they're not satisfied with. And there's this deep desire to not have this be the last memory of the two of you together. And also this desire to then kind of move beyond that crossroads point, that pivot point, that point of disappointment or confusion, in order to begin to build new memories together. They also say, I vow to love you the best I can. So somebody who's been on this intense healing journey, on this intense journey within themselves of really looking at some wounds, really looking at some distortions and shadows. Somebody who's recognizing how these factors within them have been an obstacle to this connection and maybe even other connections throughout their life, and the steps that they've taken, being very proactive in this process. This feels like somebody who has done this work for themselves. They're doing this work for themselves. But, you know, with that, kind of as a companion to that is this idea that, you know, the healing that they do on themselves, there's this desire to kind of impart that to this connection as well, to not just keep this all for themselves, but to present themselves as kind of this better, best, or upgraded version of the person you were dealing with previously. And they also say you are the answer to my whole life. So more of that desire to really turn the page here, to really present to you kind of this component of themselves that had been hidden. Maybe you only had a suggestion of this, or you really were some kind of an inspiration. You saw through that, through kind of the mask and whatever else was being held back, and you really touched this person at that core level. And in some way, your personal healing journey, your process, even if somebody can't see this from afar, you know, what they're sensing from you energetically, it has been this motivation that has really helped to fire this person up to take these assertive steps in their own life, to not just dwell in that energy of complacency and despair and kind of distortion and wounding, but to take matters into their own hands, to really do the healing work within so that they can experience different results in their outside world. They also say, I find everything about you so pleasurable and irresistible. So somebody who may have taken the connection for granted in the past is now really viewing you and the potential that exists here with fresh eyes. There's also this idea with, you know, Five of Pentacles and this concept of sanctuary, this feeling of wanting to come home to you, wanting to come home to this connection. The more this person has come home to themselves, the more they are able to then perceive that home within you and within this connection as well. The more that they are kind of filling their own cup and being that source of healing for themselves, the more they are becoming equipped to be that very healing presence in this dynamic. They also say, my love for you is without bound. So time and space has not diminished the spark between the both of you. This feels like something that has only grown more intense with time. Somebody who, if they were in this energy of indecision before, there is a certainty, there is a determination that they will not allow time, distance, you know, geography, circumstances. They don't want to allow these things to remain to be barriers. Any barriers that they put up, any ways that they pushed you away, walls they had in place, they're taking these things down. They are dismantling these things within themselves in order to unleash kind of the bounty of love, this potential that exists between the both of you, to act upon feelings that in the past they may have, you know, just been ill-equipped to deal with, or not at a place in their life of, you know, being ready to kind of allow love in. A very necessary stage in whatever has taken place in your journey, kind of this idea of the two of you needing to kind of go your separate ways to do that healing, but that some substantial amount of healing has taken place, that now this is this energy of being able to come back together and again provide kind of that that balm to one another, perhaps even just kind of that final bit of closure, so the two of you can then move forward in other directions in your life and kind of come to peace with what has occurred. But for a lot of you, this really feels like somebody who, you know, is ready to participate in this connection, is able to participate in this connection, has made themselves able to give and receive love in a more reciprocal way, in a more direct way, in a more authentic way than they had in the past. And they also say, you're the only person who truly gets me. So there's that idea again of really, you know, you being an inspiration to this person in some way, you really recognizing the potential and the core within this person, you know, seeing beyond whatever they'd been holding back in whatever ways they had really tried to chameleon themselves or kind of repress their truth and kind of hide away that vibrance of love that they hold within themselves. You know, almost effortlessly, you were able to really speak to them in that place. You were able to really awaken something within this person, and you have brought their attention to this core within them, which has been something they've held to. It's been a standard that they have been moving toward, you know, that this deep kind of journey within themselves to heal and eradicate any barriers, blockages, and obstacles to the experience of an expression of this very, passionate center that they hold within them. And, with that, as kind of things have changed, as this person has sort of changed that internal landscape as well, or their understanding and perception of that internal landscape, they're again recognizing you as kind of this very complementary energy. They may have in the past thought you two were too different to be compatible, and now the more they're getting to know themselves, the more they are seeing how intricately woven together your souls actually are. They also say, I don't think I can take your reaction right now. So that's those kind of little grains of fear, these what ifs. What if you reject them? What if you slam the door in their face, or you don't respond, and kind of that element of this holding them back, but that they, they're still working through that. They definitely feel this element of, very eager to move forward, but also honoring the fact, honoring this process, honoring these elements of fear, recognizing these things, hearing these things out, acknowledging these things as very, true and very applicable to them, but at the same time not just being content to allow these walls and barriers to exist. Somebody who's in this active process of kind of moving through these things within themselves, and so kind of holding themselves back at this point, but feeling that it's the best thing, because they want to be able to come to you correctly. They want to be able to come to you right. They want to be able to come to you with the greatest degree of confidence, and the ability to speak kind of this depth and level of truth that in the past, they didn't or weren't able to. Again, this idea of maybe having they're feeling that they got one opportunity. They've got to make it right. There's a lot of pressure that they're putting on themselves, but in a way that is very motivating. They also say, you still hold a piece of my heart. So this is that idea of the entwined energy. The more that they are getting to know themselves, the more that they are kind of recognizing this symbiosis within you. Somebody who could have in the past, sort of denied even a twin flame or a soulmate connection between you, that is starting to really recognize that, how complementary the two of you are, how even on sort of your parallel paths or separate journeys, that there are, kind of these consistent themes between the both of you. This desire for healing, this work that you are doing to kind of rise out of the ashes of your particular circumstances, even if these are, just kind of the wreckage that has been within you, within each of you, and seeking to kind of transcend that and to turn that into something of value, and to access one's power through that process. It's something that, the more they're getting to discover themselves, the more they are able to recognize and value and appreciate kind of your significance to them, the role of this connection in their life in general, and also this overwhelming feeling of love that they still have for you, that they have always had for you, and kind of moving into that direction of wanting to again come out of just this mental space and this energy of wishing into actually doing something with that. Experiencing that in the 3D sense in this lifetime, not wanting to put this off for other lifetimes, not wanting to put this off for later or for, years down the road or perhaps never, but somebody who wants to do something about this now, somebody who has come to this awareness, and really feels that, at this point in their journey, in this point in their life, that this is a very important task or process. This is a very important part of their journey. This is one of the destinations that the experiences between the two of you and internally within this person has been kind of leading them toward. This is that light that they have been trying to unearth or resurrect within themselves. This is that light that they have been moving toward, and this is the light that they have been endeavoring to become. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you now, Group 1, about the situation. Okay, and we have rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering your life. So this is very similar to that imagery here on the envy card, this person kind of lurking off in the background here and sort of looking with a sense of longing out into the light, out into the happiness. Somebody who, again, this confirmation of somebody who's getting ready to step out of the shadows, somebody who is not content to kind of dwell in the outskirts, or often kind of the wings, not only of this connection, but of their life in general. They are taking steps to kind of bring the best parts of themselves out of hiding, to let these things be known, to let these things be seen. And part of that is the truth of the feelings that they they have for you that they may have not spoken before or been really holding back on. Again, this desire to kind of bring this forth. For some of you with this bouquet of flowers here, they may turn up at your door with flowers, or you may spend some time in nature with this person, and a series of conversations or a significant interaction with them really helps to kind of turn the page, bring you both out of kind of a stormy energy and into this light. This sense also with this rainbow here of kind of the wait being worth it, being very patient, allowing this person in their own kind of time and way to take that step forward, that this is a very necessary part of turning the page, is this person coming forth, this person presenting that truth, bringing that out. So it's really encouraging you to remain in this receptive mode and to trust that, whatever storminess you are experiencing with them or have been experiencing with them, that this is in a process of dissipating. And that on the other side of that is this bounty, is this treasure, even in the sense of closure from this person, a sense of vindication, or a sense of acknowledgement of what might have been rejected in the past or denied in the past. For others of you, this blessing, this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, is this deep transformation that this person has done within. Kind of the next and solidified step of that being acting from that courageous place and stepping forth with that truth, stepping forth with that communication, reaching out to you, being the one to kind of initiate this change in order that the two of you can then start to really pick up the pieces and rebuild in a more positive direction, rebuild something that is solid, is stable, is of value and worth, something that you two can, through the ways in which you've learned to cherish and appreciate yourself, you're then able to really cherish and appreciate one another on a deeper level, and work very harmoniously toward the preservation and kind of the development of the connection moving forward. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the video reach others that might need to hear these messages, that might resonate with that. It also helps my channel to grow, so I really do appreciate that. If you would like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Carnelian along with these cards, which I will start with to get a feel for what is this person's potential actions towards you, their next move. Got strategy, adjacent possibilities, door to value, wolf instinct, wind activation, and fire passion. So this feels like somebody who is planning a surprise with strategy and then adjacent possibilities with this little door that's opening on the floor here. Somebody who wants to come in, wants to return, wants to reach out, with the idea here of wind and this air energy, and this can really talk about communication. So a message from afar. This can even be somebody you haven't heard from in a while. The idea here with this wolf and kind of somebody who may have even been sort of calling out to you energetically for a while or recently. Maybe you are experiencing kind of an uptick in the telepathy between the two of you. Somebody who's been kind of coming to you in dreams. Maybe if it's somebody who is familiar with astral projection, they have been deliberately kind of popping up in your dreams, sort of a, hi, here I am, how are you, good to see you. Perhaps after a while, kind of this, or you know, it's been a while since you've interacted with them. This does feel like an energy that is very uplifting. Sort of somebody who, even in the ways in which your communication is maybe picking up at this point in time, there's been kind of a revival of that. It's something, there's a value to it. It fills you with a sense of kind of elation, like a friend you haven't seen in a really long time, and sort of running into that person very unexpectedly. This does feel like a very, again, a positive energy, an excited energy, somebody who, again, is planning some kind of a surprise, planning to pop back up into your reality with all these doors, somebody who may even, if this is, you know, feasible, depending on your particular circumstances, somebody who might even be planning on surprising you at your home, you know, kind of turning up at your door one day. Or this can also really, I'm getting that this is sort of relating to some kind of an event that might be taking place, some kind of a party or a wedding or some kind of a get together. Maybe somebody that you, people that you know mutually, and this person being aware that there's a likelihood that you would be at this event, or they've been told that you will be at this event, and they're planning to surprise you in that sense of just kind of turning up very unexpectedly, turning up in a location that you might not have expected to see them at. Maybe they, again, with this idea of distance, it's something where they're going to have to travel to, you know, participate in whatever this event is, to show up at this function or this gathering, at this get together with other people, and kind of wanting to sort of keep that hush hush. With strategy, it does seem that this may involve other people as well that are part of that planning process, where other people may know of their desire to do this and are kind of helping them to arrange things, to set things in motion, keeping that very quiet, keeping that just very, again, kind of this idea of very cloaked. This person's plans or this person's intentions, again with this desire to really surprise you in a very positive way. This is almost bringing this idea of kind of like a Jack in the Box, and then just really popping up out of nowhere, and it almost being very startling and yet at the same time very good to see this person. Even if you've had difficulties with them, there's been you know, some hurt feelings, or you've been kind of in an extended period of no contact and separation. There's a sense here of kind kind of picking up where you left off in a lot of ways. This could be somebody who's kind of throughout your dynamic been sort of in and out of your life. Maybe somebody who you've kind of been friends with, and your paths kind of deviate from one another, only to sort of, encounter each other once again in a very kind of serendipitous manner. And each time that you do, maybe even grievances that you've had from the past, or however you've left things, it's as if these all dissolve, and sort of this passion and this excitement, this vibrance is just, it's very easy to get back into that place with this person. This doesn't feel like the energy of kind of enabling or a very toxic cycle of kind of running and chasing, but it does feel like something where, any kind of distance you've experienced in the past or experiencing at this point in time, something in which the manner in which this person comes back towards you, something that they have to offer, maybe a degree of attention that they are now willing to invest in this connection. Maybe there were other circumstances, other people that were involved or were interfering with this connection in the past, that this person has taken steps in their life, or kind of just naturally, these things have sort of fallen away. These things have kind of crumbled. This could be somebody who maybe even burned a lot of bridges with lifestyles, with belief systems, with, again, people, places, and things of the past that were almost an obstruction to this connection in the past. And there's this element of having this really good news that they want to share with you, that when this person comes back in, it's very easy to move beyond whatever was kind of an issue in the past. With this energy of communication, this is somebody who wants to come in very clearly and perhaps even express feelings that they had held back on before, provide you with some kind of truth, clarity, or perspective that they have gained in their wanderings, in their journeyings, in the time apart from you. With this imagery here of the mountain, somebody who may have been on some kind of a spiritual voyage, somebody who has really been on this journey to find themselves, who has found something, who has found that enlightenment, that core, that truth, a truth about themselves, a truth about how they feel about you, and is now coming off the mountain. They're coming forth with that communication. They're wanting to express something to you that might have been kind of cloaked or obscured before, that they weren't really ready to face. With this wind energy and this fire energy, this is somebody who's undergone a deep personal transformation as well. Somebody who has really been working to kind of unearth that best version of self and to bring that forth. There could be surprising changes about them in terms of what they're doing for a living, maybe a period of prosperity that they have entered into in their life. This can really also talk about some kind of a work function or a work connection that you may have to this person, or that in some way is related to how they want to pop back up into your life. Maybe something that you do for a living, some way that you earn money. Maybe you have clients or people that you help, and this person has been observing that, and in some way, wants to kind of make their introduction, wants to kind of approach you from that vantage point, through that profession, through that work, coming to your place of employment, or if you do something online, reaching out to you in that sense to let you know that they've watched this. They have watched you build this abundance for yourself. They have watched you undergo some kind of personal transformation, step into your power in a significant way. They're recognizing how you are, to some degree in alignment with your life's purpose, that you're contributing something of value to others, and in turn are kind of sort of reaping the tangible rewards of that in terms of a very apparent, energetic sense of assuredness within yourself, a sense of confidence that maybe you were lacking before, some kind of a personal transformation that you've undergone, some kind of a glow up that has occurred in your life is being recognized by this person. They may have even been told about you from other people that you know in common, and it has really sparked this person's interest to kind of watch from afar with the strategy to kind of observe and to plan, and that it's reached this kind of crucial point. The pendulum has swung in another direction. Somebody that may have been moving away from this connection is now moving back towards you. Somebody that may have, again, kind of taken you for granted in the past, but I feel like This is something where in some way you are walking the path toward that best version of self in their own kind of independent way. This person has also been actively engaged in kind of cultivating that for them. And where they may have seen that there were a lot of obstacles in this situation before, they may literally have been obstacles to this connection really taking off or being sustainable. There's a sense of these things having been alleviated. This is the energy of kind of right person, wrong time, but there's a sense of the time is now right. Things have shifted for both of you individually, and what may not have worked before may have really been very difficult to achieve or sustain before, that the two of you are independently in your lives in such a place, and you've grown into such a place internally that you now have something really of value to offer one another. You've come to a place of wisdom and discernment within yourself where, a lot of maybe tendencies of the past, maybe, codependency or anywhere that you were kind of playing small in your life. You were kind of trying to find yourself. You weren't really in alignment or very satisfied with what you were doing. Your life was lacking meaning in some profound way. That has shifted for you and also for this person. This feels very much like a kind of a mirrored energy that maybe as your focus has kind of been redirected toward, building some sense of abundance for yourself, that kind of taking your attention off of this connection and off of this person has really allowed them that time and space to kind of do that journey work for themselves. To really find, what resonates them, what excites them, what lights them up inside, what brings a sense of meaning to them, how can they provide meaning to others. This feels like two people who are very much in this state of being conscious of kind of the effect that they have as they move through life. Two people who are, very kind of in a sense have found their true north independently, and through that state having been cultivated, it's shifting into right person, right time. This person recognizing that the time is right, that some kind of a necessary period of separation has afforded the both of you it's been of great value. You've used the time to your benefit, and whatever it is you've independently been focusing on and cultivating, or even the sense of gratitude that you have really embraced. Not focusing on, what didn't work, what has been disappointing, but shifting that focus to what you do have, what is important, relationships that have meaning to you, that, are reciprocal as opposed to feeding into one-sided connections. Any ways in which the path in life that you are walking in a variety of capacities, that you have, discontinued maybe a certain lifestyle or a certain belief system, other relationships that, friends, family, or romance that the two of you were really involved in. There's a sense of, taking another route, going another direction, breaking trail from where you were heading and what the focus was. And now things have shifted in a way. Your lives are very different. You've unearthed the core of who you are, but in terms of your physical life, you have manifested that into a very different capacity than how that light was shining through or was inhibited from shining through in the past. This imagery here of kind of this lock and the key, something has really added up for this person. They are recognizing they've come to this place of wholeness within themselves. They have really unlocked something within themselves, some truth, some understanding, kind of that greatest potential. And they're also really starting to recognize the compatibility between the both of you, that in some way your energies are very much in alignment in a way that might have been kind of unbalanced before, that there is this kind of course correction that has happened. What didn't fit, what didn't work, what wasn't meant to be experienced before is now being unlocked. The potential's there, the time is right. This person really recognizing that you hold the key to their heart, and vice versa. If this had been kind of a one-sided or unrequited love situation, this is somebody who has had some kind of a wake-up call. They are seeing things from a new perspective, or they have grown into such an individual that they are now able to receive and sustain this love, the potential, the value, almost this limitlessness that has been there, kind of just waiting, just waiting for this person to take the steps necessary to unlock these doors or these treasures within themselves, to change course as necessary, and to really come into alignment with themselves, with their authenticity and with their truth and with their life. So again, communication, somebody who wants to reach out. I feel somebody who is very much aware of what's kind of going on in your life to a certain extent, somebody who's definitely reached this decision point and is really trying to really plan and craft and hone that that kind of, again, that element of surprise, this jack in the box, kind of coming out of the sands of time, or coming out of this energy of, maybe they were just kind of out wandering or living their life and didn't really express any kind of interest in change. It was sort of difficult to determine what their intentions were, where their head was at with things, where their heart was at, what they wanted moving forward. Someone who may have appeared to have been focusing on other things, and internally it's almost this perpetuity of their focus upon you, their focus upon this connection, and now some internal change within has created that necessary transmutation in their outside world, in their outside reality, and who they are as a person, as what they allowed to come forth from them, to where they're now able to deliver something of meaning. They're now able to show up as a meaningful presence instead of kind of a debilitating presence in this connection. So you might run into this person. They may show up very suddenly for you, turn up very suddenly for you, or they may reach out across kind of the distance. So something online, or a text message, or a phone call, or an email, but something which has value and meaning, something which says a lot. It reflects a lot about this transformation within this person. It feels almost that it will take time to kind of move beyond whatever happened. There will be conversations that need to be had, perspectives that need to be exchanged, feelings that need to be felt and released. But this feels like something that it immediately feels very joyous for the two of you to really connect again. And it's that joy that helps carry you through kind of these challenges, these mountains, these hurdles that then must be kind of addressed or dealt with, hurts of the past, misunderstandings of the past, confusion of the past, kind of this energy of making up for lost time. But with this element of fire, this is very quick. This is a very conscious progression of this, sort of when the door is opened, it sort of carries forth from there. Anyone that was in an energy of indecision, they're very much in alignment with what they want and very much committed to working through this with you. With that energy of fire, you and wind, you may be hearing from this person or run into this person very soon. It feels like something they've been thinking about for a while. They've been strategizing for a while. Their plans are in place. Wheels are set in motion. And it's kind of just, they're allowing themselves to be carried and taking these very profound action-oriented steps back towards you, towards that kind of goal, that destination, that element of surprise where, here they are and they're ready now. They're ready to kind of clear away the debris of the past, clear the air between the two of you so that you can then work toward building something different, new experiences and memories together in the future. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you now, group 2, and see what do they want to say. Okay, and they say, I can't lie. I am missing you and thinking of you so much these days. So that is that energy of strategizing, maybe watching you from afar, observing some kind of a glow up or some state that you are in your life right now, feeling very proud of that, very much an admiration of that, kind of a congratulatory energy. This could also be the nature of what you hear from this person. They may reach out to congratulate you on something that you have built, something you've been working on, something you are focusing your life around, some kind of a deep transformation from whatever it is what's kind of the core focus of your reality in life previously, that this has been very inspirational to this person. They're liking what they're seeing. They're very excited about this. They're very excited to, reintroduce themselves to you, to, hopefully reestablish a connection. They want to be involved in your world. They want to, be there with you, celebrating these things, cheering you on, complimenting you, congratulating you for all of the hard work that you've done and what you have accomplished. This is somebody who, wants to be a teammate at this point in time. They want to be a partner to you. They want to participate with you. They want to, be there with you to kind of share in these victories with one another. They also say, I've made up my mind. You are the one. I don't want to waste any more time. So this is that fast moving energy of wind and fire, and somebody who is, they're already on their way to you. They're already, just kind of planning that perfect moment to emerge, to reintroduce themselves. Any indecision has been sort of cleared away and replaced by this element of certainty. And it feels like as this person has gone within and discovered who they are, they're able to appreciate who you are and the potential of what this connection can be, and the reality almost on the energetic sense of what it is, what it always has been, and what it will be. And they also say, your love set me free. I am free because of you. So this feels like somebody who's very grateful to you for the way in which you have chosen to redirect your focus within. If this had been kind of a runner-chaser dynamic for a period of time, and any decision point that you reached to start to fill your own cup, to start to focus on, what you do have, what you can build, what you can control, what you can create in your life. It has afforded this person almost this element of breathing room. They have had this space, some kind of pressure was alleviated from them that allowed them to, at a very organic place, kind of go on this quest to discover themselves, to find and become that best version of self. Also this inspirational energy where, whatever they're picking up on from you energetically in terms of your glow up, your sort of reframing of your priorities, what they're able to witness and observe in terms of the way that your life has changed, or even the vibration that you're emanating. This feels like they're recognizing you as just in a happier place in your life, in a healthier place in your life in a variety of ways. And it's something which, it's very heartwarming to them. It's something which makes them very happy. This feels like somebody who, despite what might have been said or done, they have only ever wanted the best for you, and the victories that you are experiencing, this joy that you have cultivated within and that you are exuding without, it fills this person with a sense of satisfaction that, as difficult as this might have been to kind of go your separate ways, that it was the right decision. And the choice that you've made to invest on yourself, it has been that same act of liberation for this person that maybe them walking away or kind of pushing you away in the past has ultimately been for you. Sort of that idea of, kind of that any kind of rejection that may have happened or any kind of distance, that being this opportunity, this space that you needed to really step into your authenticity, your true self. And you've returned that to this person. You have reciprocated that to this person. And it's something that they are very grateful for. This may be kind of among the things that they want to tell you, is that they are very grateful for having encountered you. They're very grateful even for the difficulties that you two have faced, as sort of these challenges have been that potency that has allowed this person, or has forced this person, to really go within, to really find themselves, find this truth, and this truth, this state of enlightenment, this core reality of themselves that they have discovered. They are then able to decipher you with fresh eyes. They're able to see this connection with fresh eyes. They're able to appreciate this and appreciate the role that you two play in one another's life. This gift of healing that you have afforded one another through that kind of time and space that is necessary in order to make that decision to go within and practice that art of self-healing, to cultivate that abundance internally and then really bring that out into the material world. Okay, and they say, my whole body burns at the thought of you. So that's that fire energy, this passion. They're really liking what they are seeing. They're liking who you are at this point in your life, who you have become, who you have blossomed into. Somebody who has deep appreciation for you, deep respect, deep admiration, and is deeply congratulatory as well of whatever it is that you're focusing on, whatever it is that you've accomplished or that you're, applying your efforts towards, whatever you are investing in or feeding into or nurturing, whether that's investing in your health, maybe in your mental health, your spiritual health, some kind of a business that you have formed and you are creating and you are fostering. Maybe this is just even in kind of your vibration and what you're emanating, some kind of deep dissatisfaction or disappointment that you have sort of chosen to kind of neutralize by really seeking to kind of find the best in all situations, to really focus on that core of joy and to bring that out, ways in which you're being of service to others, a generosity of spirit that because of whatever element or state that this person was in before, the nature of this connection, they weren't able to really see that or appreciate that, or if they saw it and appreciated it, they didn't feel worthy of it. Something has changed within them to where they are now at a place of recognizing kind of the gift of love that you have to offer, and in a place of readiness within themselves to be able to not only receive but kind of give that back in kind. They also say, you are my muse. So again, this element of inspiration, somebody who could really be watching you from afar, somebody who has heard about you, maybe through people that you know in common, then that has really instigated them to look you up, to find out what you're up to. Somebody who's very excited and happy for the changes that you have made, and it has really, in a way, been this inspiration to them to continue on that journey, to continue on that very arduous path of uncovering the truth of who they are and seeking to bring that into alignment with what they are really conveying in the material world, how they're living their life and the effect that they have on others. And they also say, don't think I care about you because I really do. So again, any kind of separation, silence, it's kind of a mask for what really lies beneath. There's this deep desire, this deep recognition that the two of you are very, very compatible. While it might have been right person, wrong time in the past, there is a sense of transformation that has happened there. They're recognizing the gift of this connection, the gift of the potential that exists between the both of you, and somebody who's kind of entered this stage where by appreciating and valuing and investing in themselves, they are now able to appreciate, value, and invest in this connection in a deeper and more profound way than they had been previously. And they also say, you are irreplaceable. So through this person's journeys and wanderings, they have not been able to encounter a connection quite like this. As somebody who may have also been really soul searching, really reflecting on romances of the past, dynamics of the past, they're recognizing that that there's something about this connection that stands apart, something about this connection that is different from all the rest, and different in the most wonderful way. There's something about the element of inspiration here, that you motivate this person, you help bring out the best in this person in a way that is unlike what other sort of people or situations were able to really instigate within them. And they also say, I feel too much pressure right now. So they are definitely trying to take their time with this, as much as there is this urge to rush towards you, to rush back into this connection. There is a sense of, wanting to do things right, wanting to, again, kind of make this the perfect surprise. It's the element also of holding back being very difficult for them wanting to rush forward to you, but again, wanting to make it something meaningful, wanting to make it something of value, wanting to make it a lasting memory that comes to the both of you at a time when it's proper, when it's right, and when it's something that won't easily be forgotten. And they also say, I'm still haunted by my actions. So they are definitely thinking back on any ways in which they kind of had rejected your cup of love in the past, a desire to kind of deliver some form of apology, to recognize you, to honor this connection in a way that might not have been possible for them before. And I forgot to pull some tarot after I went over those oracle cards. I did that for group 1, so I will get a few for you as well, group 2, just to get a little more clarification about what this person might be kind of planning, what this next action is, what that might look like. So we've got the 9 of Swords, which is definitely talking about kind of that idea of being haunted by their actions that came through with their messages. They've been thinking about this. This is also kind of this element of, somebody who's been traveling to you from afar in dreams, astral projecting and kind of just making their presence known, wanting to take things from that level, though, from this kind of dreamy space, this liminal space, even that energy of anxiety and regret over what had happened in the past, and that being a motivation to reach out, to step forward. You might be getting a lot of telepathic communication from this person, as well as kind of a prelude to them returning. Although there is this element of surprise, it does feel like something that energetically you're able to perceive. You're able to pick up on the fact that they're deeply focused on you at this point in time. Almost a sense of kind of with this spectral figure here, feeling them around, feeling that they're kind of just around the corner. That idea of the Jack in the Box, that they might pop out at any moment. But it does feel like something that they're very cognizant of, that energetic bond between the both of you. And so the element of secrecy, the element of surprise is kind of precarious for them to really maintain. They may see you as a deeply, intuitive person, a deeply empathic person. Again, very cognizant of the dynamic between the both of you. And so it's a lot of pressure to try and, keep this very hush-hush, keep it for just the right moment, just that right point of emergence, hoping that they aren't giving too much away energetically to you, but even kind of enjoying that element of things, that kind of build up to the surprise, that very tangible kind of air of excitement that might be kind of crackling between the two of you. And we also have Judgment. So this is that card of resurrection, somebody, wanting to really kind of come back from the dead, come back from the past, resurrect this connection, breathe life back into this situation. This idea of the trumpet, and again, kind of reaching out from afar, communication from afar, or, even just encountering this person and then this communication beginning again in a very unexpected way, this element of surprise, a lot that they want to say to you. Music could be significant at this point as well. You might be getting a lot of messages in song lyrics or kind of downloads, hearing songs that remind you of this person. This really feels like a lot of signs might be picking up as well, seeing their name a lot, or reminders of times that you shared, just things that are kind of bringing your memories back to them. If you've, again, chosen to kind of refocus on other things in your life, and have kind of, left this person to their own devices, you've kind of let them go in love and kind of move forward in the direction of cultivating your own light. This is something where, kind of this energy of resurgence. We're sort of almost out of nowhere. Here comes this person's energy once again. But in a very, it feels like with this large trumpet here, this is not just kind of a tickle of their energy. This is in a very profound and pronounced way. Even the signs that you're getting very unmistakable, to where you almost have no choice but to recognize these things and look at these things and to really feel and understand on some level that there is a shift that has taken place, and that the potential is there for a very profound change in directions in what you experience with this person in a material sense. And we also got the Ace of Cups. So this is that desire to, offer something of an emotional nature, offer some kind of an apology, to approach you in an energy of love. While it might have been uncertainty, or there could have been, a lot of chaos in both of your energies the last time you were dealing with one another, or circumstances that really got in the way. This is somebody who, has kind of cleared some space within them. They've done some healing within them, and they want to present themselves to you in this kind of air of authenticity that might have been lacking before. Somebody who's ready to give, somebody who's ready to, provide that cup of love, somebody who's ready to receive that cup of love. Even if you start off in a friendship element with this person, as kind of to necessarily rebuild the trust, reestablish the relationship. This is somebody who's very much geared in that direction. Somebody who, is ready to participate in this. Some kind of a cycle of separation that you've been in, or kind of some cycles and patterns within this person's life that they have needed to address. This is the energy of successfully transcending these things and now coming to this place of readiness, of having something of value and meaning to offer. And we've also got the Three of Pentacles. So an energy of work, wanting to rebuild this foundation, start over, do things right in this connection. Somebody who wants to come to you in this air of certainty. Somebody who may have also acquired some new tools in terms of how to deal with conflict, how to express themselves. This is almost bringing up this idea of badges and things, this accomplishments that they have made in their life. Maybe some difficult cycles or kind of draining relationships or other interferences in their life that they have closed out, cycles that have completed, lessons that have been learned, and they've almost gotten that badge, that diploma, that certificate, and have moved through several different areas of their life. Kind of this journey to enlightenment and what they've discovered, what they've achieved, what they've cultivated, and wanting to kind of bring that forth, present that to you in terms of apology in the form of changed action as well. So I'm going to close this reading for you, group 2, with some guidance from Spirit about the situation. Okay, and we have stepping into power. You are strong beyond measure. So this is definitely that element here. This looks like the hermit with his lantern and kind of coming out of that cave of solitude, in this energy of wisdom and determination. So this can be this other confirmation for you of this person really having gained a lot, this person really having matured and changed and transformed, having come to some kind of personal awareness in the time since you were last dealing with them, and even if this is somebody who's still in your life to some capacity during any kind of a stage where they may have felt kind of withdrawn, or it was just taking some time to kind of evolve things to the next state. This is a card of decisive action. This is a card letting you know also that the interaction with this person, regardless of if this is you hear them out, you honor their apology, you speak your piece, and you two go your separate ways, or if this is something where once you reconnect with one another, and you're able to kind of move through sort of that debris of the past, clear that all up through communication, actively listening to one another, speaking your truth, speaking from the heart. Kind of bringing forth all of this energy that's kind of been festering and lingering with the two of you, that it will be a very empowering experience. That either scenario, you two are very much geared toward closing out a significant chapter in this dynamic and also in your life, and stepping forth into a season individually or with one another where kind of the blessings you've cultivated for yourself individually are going to be further enhanced through this experience, or through the reintroduction of one another into each other's lives. There's a sense here too with these people kind of following this other individual of this being a source of support, somebody who is ready to participate in this connection, somebody who wants to be that encouragement, wants to be that motivation to keep striving, somebody who really respects your independence and what you have learned, what you have gained on your journey, somebody who is very also inspired by that, somebody who's kind of in alignment with that. Your goals are very much coming into alignment. Your sense of self has very much come into alignment. Somebody who's ready to, explore kind of the further depths of what this connection can become, or for others of you where this is just some form of closure that happens. In some way, this allows you to kind of transcend and move beyond even any unconscious blocks or kind of lingering debris that might have been kind of keeping you held back a little bit from, kind of expressing that authenticity of your own truth. That whatever happens, it illuminates the way forward for you, either with this person or individually, or both, on kind of a new and profound level. There's a sense here too of this interaction really providing you with some wisdom about the necessity of maybe what has happened in this connection in the past, the necessity of this time and space apart, so that the two of you could really heal and kind of bring that best version of self out into the open. And a sense too, also this guidance to just continue to do that, continue, as much as you might anticipate and feel this person kind of on their way in, trying to separate yourself from that as much as possible, continue to focus on your goals and what you've cultivated, on what you've been working towards, that light that you have unearthed within and are shining. This has been a beacon for this person. It will continue to be this beacon, so that, any kind of timing or obstacles, that these things are able to be navigated through, based on kind of this again, this energetic beacon that you are setting for this person. Some kind of living example that you are in a variety of ways for this element of evolution and change and stepping into that best version of self. And when you honor yourself, when you honor your own kind of abundance, your abundance mindset and abundance in your life first and foremost, then you're able to better kind of sustain and receive that energy of abundance kind of mirrored to you in the form of another, which it really feels like this person has also in some way done that work within themselves. And so this feels like two people that have really stepped into their power, coming back together at a point in time and a point in your lives where the experience moving forward and even in kind of just this immediate meeting point, it's very different than what you've experienced in the past, and something that can be very empowering in a variety of ways for the two of you. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it definitely helps the video to reach others that might need to hear these messages, that might find some benefit in these things. And it also helps my channel to grow. So I definitely deeply appreciate that. If you would like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry in my Etsy shop if you are interested in checking that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the Kimberlite along with these cards, which I will start with to get a feel, a general idea for this person's potential actions towards you. Got community, action, man holding a heart, stone people, vigilance, river, movement, and spring equinox, rebirth. So this definitely looks to be somebody who is at a distance from you, maybe physically at a distance, or this could be something where maybe things have changed in terms of your phone number has changed, something with social media, kind of the methods in which you communicated with this person previously have sort of been shut down or no longer available. It's a little more difficult to reach out. Maybe you've moved. Somebody who's kind of been in this stage of trying to find a way to reach you, or is understanding that it's going to take kind of a journey to do that, in order to even kind of bridge a gap of silence. This can also really talk about somebody you've been in separation from for quite a while. There's been sort of this distance of time that has been established. The two of you have really grown into different directions. Your life has kind of taken you in different directions. You've had different experiences. There's a sense of uncertainty here about if you would receive this person again, if they reached out. And so with this is this desire to take action, this desire to move forward, feeling very compelled to you. With the black and white horses here on action, recognizing you as almost the yin to their yang, a counterpart energy, a soulmate energy, a twin flame energy. Maybe even through kind of their wanderings and voyages with community, even having dated other people, having had romantic encounters with other people, or time that they've taken to really look back on their romantic past and kind of evaluate those connections. Maybe somebody who's kind of been not involved in romance at all, but has just been spending time with friends, with family, maybe even some other form of community, a spiritual community, a religious community, some kind of a journey of introspection that this person has been on. It has afforded them clarity. This feels like somebody who has needed to take a giant step back from this situation, the intensity of this, somebody who has felt a lot of love for you, may have even undergone some kind of a heart chakra activation upon meeting you, and that the overwhelm of that is something that they have really needed some space to get a handle on. They could have really kind of recoiled from this, pushed you away, even sort of sabotage this connection in some manner in order to kind of get themselves some breathing room. And, kind of with that is this idea of perspective that has come to them, that, again, this element of almost self-sabotage coming up, somebody who's been on this journey to love themselves, somebody who in the past in their romances may have worn their heart on their sleeve, and have really learned from that a series of heartbreaks that has caused them to kind of hold back or to sort of stuff down or push away love. They are no longer, or when you were last dealing with them, were no longer at this place of being so open with that. Somebody who may have really held back on their feelings, not expressed these things, left you with a sense of kind of needing to guess, this sense of uncertainty, this stoniness that they may have really presented to you, kind of this impasse. This could also involve kind of blocked communication between the two of you, to where the relationship, the connection has now existed on sort of the 5D level. You may have been, kind of seeking answers through tarot readings even, or even your own kind of methods of divination to sort of decipher and kind of feel beyond these barriers, to feel what is left, what remains between you and this person, what this means. A connection, it feels, that has really stuck with you through time, and with this person through time. This could have really opened you up to, other forms of community in your own right. Maybe even you've gotten support or found kind of some healing through a twin flame community or some other kind of maybe self-help community, through the process of heartbreak, through what you've really gone through with this person, and what that has revealed to you in terms of some wounds, maybe some abandonment issues, learning to love yourself again, learning to really, with this energy of rebirth, to really come out of this situation. In some way, you've made some kind of transformation. You've turned a corner in this situation, and in your life in general, which is adding to this element of, with this person, of this grand distance that now exists between you, distance that they've created, and then through your own personal transformation, kind of this even greater distance that they're needing to find a way to bridge that kind of gap. With this energy of spring equinox, it does feel like a lot is still germinating for this person. With this element of distance, they could definitely be watching you from afar. Maybe they themselves have even turned to, tarot readings or something to try and kind of get a feel for things. They might be, asking people about you, kind of keeping their ears open in some sort of form of mutual community for news of you, word of you. This feels like with stone people that they're keeping a lot of this to themselves. They're not letting this be known at all. This is an internal landscape within them. With these horses here, a lot of movement, a lot of clarity that has come, but it's something that they're keeping very closed in. Almost this energy of wanting to protect this, still kind of uncertain about how to make their way back towards you, how to really move on from whatever happened in the past, whatever was said in the past, or a choice that was made in the past. But seeds have nevertheless been planted and are germinating within this person. Clarity has come. Some of those seeds have blossomed, have borne fruit, and have provided them with that clarity that, you are their counterpart, you are their twin flame, you are their soulmate, you are this yin to their yang, this perfect match. That what they may have been running from or pushed away in the form of this connection was actually something within themselves that they were unprepared to really face and to deal with. The level of love, the energy that existed between the both of you, it really triggered some kind of wounds within this person. So almost running from the medicine that was meant to, really heal them, that was kind of intended or gifted from the divine as kind of this opportunity to move beyond disappointments of the past. And at the time in the past, they weren't ready or able to receive that. In this distance, they've kind of gotten some clarity about that, some self-healing that they've done, which is now making them able to recognize kind of the healing nature, this very kind of reciprocal nature, this great potential that exists in this connection that they might have been oblivious to before. Again, with the spring equinox, this is kind of bringing to mind that action towards you, they have this desire. There has been some shift. There has been action. This is somebody who is now facing their feelings. They're facing their fears and they're facing their feelings. This is somebody who is taking a very honest look on kind of the distance that has been created between you, the circumstances you find yourselves in, and they're taking ownership of that. This is somebody who's ready to start doing that cleanup work within themselves, or has been taking action to do that healing within. But with the spring energy, it's this notion that there's still more that needs to germinate. This does not feel like somebody who, and they could tomorrow or in the near future kind of reemerge into your life, but this feels like somebody who is still in this process of needing to let things develop, needing to kind of create a plan within themselves, needing to go into that space of flowing with this, trusting in this process, continuing to do that work on self, continuing to find and create community in other ways, other like-minded souls that, or even things that they're reading and interacting with that are really kind of unlocking some of these keys within themselves for that greater awareness, that greater understanding. This is somebody who, when they come back, they want to come with something of value. This is somebody who doesn't want to continue further the cycle of maybe running and chasing, who doesn't want to, contribute to any more uncertainty or pain. Somebody who wants to, be able to return to you with a very genuine and deep offer of love, and is still in this process of kind of healing their heart, healing their soul at this point in time, so that when they present themselves to you, it's for good, that they are really ready, seeking to work through some of this kind of residual wounds and triggers within them, so that they're not presenting themselves only to, again, kind of enter into this deep intimacy on a variety of levels and then kind of get triggered and pull back again. So still in this process, but there's a lot happening emotionally. There's a lot happening within the internal landscape of this person that, again, they might be, if you see them on social media or you're able to kind of see them out and about, they may be putting on this very stony exterior, that everything's fine, nothing has changed, they're very happy in whatever their life is, however that resonates for you and for their situation, but internally there's a lot going on. There's movement, there's clarity. The distance no longer feels good in this situation. It doesn't feel right. There's movement back in this direction, the direction of this connection. There's movement in the direction of truth. There's movement in the direction of owning the feelings that they have for you and wanting to prepare to really deliver these things out in some kind of concrete manner. But again, this element of waiting, things still needing to gestate, things still needing to kind of take shape and blossom, but that being a very active process. This is not somebody who's sitting in stagnancy. With action and movement, these are very dynamic forces. And also with that spring equinox, this rebirth, there's a lot happening beneath the scenes and kind of in that internal landscape within this person. And all of that, as time continues to pass, this stony exterior that they are presenting is it's in the brink of starting to crumble or starting to kind of ease up. This may be something that they could be in this process of needing to dismantle other things in their life, other relationships, other situations they've participated in, belief systems, perspectives on love as well is coming up as something that they're needing to heal, again in conjunction maybe with their family and upbringing, their culture, heartbreaks of the past. But this is a very kind of active internal process of alchemy. Somebody who feels like they're reading things, they're interacting with things, they're listening to the wisdom from other people, and it's all these seeds within them that are being planted, that it's providing them with that clarity. They might be discussing this with other people, but it feels like a very small circle. If that's the case, this feels like somebody who's almost in that energy of observer, taking in information, soaking it in, absorbing it, allowing it to kind of germinate as it will, and all of that really bringing them gradually, step by step, closer to the point of kind of what they ultimately want, this truth that they have come to, that you hold their heart, you hold the key to their heart, that what they have run from in the past in this connection is in fact love. Love in a very pure capacity, love that is very different than what they have experienced before, even just what was energetically sensed, vibrationally sensed, if this was a situation that was kind of a false start or didn't get off the ground or didn't last for very long. As time and space have really created that distance between the two of you, this love has remained. And it's this time and space that is the gift that has helped them to be able to decipher how this love is different from others of the past. And so with that truth is kind of this evolution into a state of readiness to take action towards you, to be that counterpart, creating that balance within themselves so that they can bring balance into this situation with you as well. So I'm going to get a little bit of tarot to get some clarification about this for you, group 3. So we have the Seven of Pentacles, again, this element of timing being at play here, an energy of waiting, of seeds having been planted that this person is, they're taking note of. They have taken note of things. They've registered this. And now it's a matter of what to do with these things. What of kind of the revelations that they've come to, what of the work that they have done within themselves or that they're discovering needs to be done within themselves, what of that is going to be something of value? What of the effort and the patience that they are putting into this process is going to yield something of meaning? There's an element of uncertainty here, not knowing what comes next, really trusting and entering into this space of surrender that at the right time they will be carried to the next solution. Kind of this idea of following the trail of breadcrumbs to the next next point, deeper and deeper within themselves, which brings them closer and closer to this point of knowing how to make a move towards you, what to say, what to bring forth. This is, with this Pentacles energy, this is very tangible energy. This is somebody who does not want to just remain in this mental space, kind of keeping this in this internal landscape. In this energy of waiting, there is a lot of planning, there is a lot of daydreaming, there is a lot of going over all the what ifs. What if, what would happen if I did this? What would happen if I didn't do that? What could this look like? What could this connection develop into? What needs to be moved beyond? A lot of things that are being considered, a lot of moving parts and factors as well, that are, this person is kind of moving beyond, or even energetically raising their vibration to move beyond. But a sense of these other things needing to kind of come to a place of completion, to fall away, or to reveal something to them before they have something of offer. This is somebody who's just kind of waiting for things to fill that basket with, to present that to you. So again, not wanting to remain in kind of the state that you find yourselves, but a corner has been turned, a turning point has been reached. This is somebody who's on that voyage back in the direction of this connection, although they may be at such a distance internally and even, time-wise and in terms of physical space between you, that it's not so simple as to just leap back into this. There's still a process at play. And we've got Five of Wands, so this can really talk about that energy of conflict, conflicted about, what they're discovering, what they're feeling, what to do with this, how to make a move forward. Somebody who's really evaluating some things in their life that need to be let go of, things that they've been, internal conflicts, kind of chaotic or toxic situations, relationships even, platonic, romantic, professional, that are no longer a source of peace for this person, that are needing to really fall away. Somebody who's in this process of really kind of picking up the pieces, or kind of sifting through their life as it has been, and what they want to kind of bring forward with them. Also this energy of kind of being conflicted within, held back a bit by fear, recognizing that this will take time, but also not making efforts to speed that process up. Somebody who is kind of comfortable with that element of fear, is allowing that element of not knowing how you'll receive them, or what can really come of this. That being a very safe space for this person, them feeling very kind of accustomed to that internal conflict within. And so it just kind of being this perpetual sort of state right now, kind of round and round in their head about worst case scenarios, kind of leaning into this only to sort of pull back away again. And we've got the Hierophant. So this can really talk about kind of a spiritual awakening that this person has had, kind of a spiritual journey that they have been on, something that they are seeing and recognizing about kind of this quality of a next level love with you. Even if it's something where, the connection didn't get very far off the ground, there's something that they are really recognizing and they're seeing that sets this connection apart. It sets you apart from others they may have dealt with. There is a desire here to transcend whatever obstacles these are. This is somebody who's in this process of surrendering, kind of transformation from the inside that then can yield transformation on the outside. And we also have the King of Pentacles. So this is that energy of maturity. Somebody who, as much as they might be digging in their heels or kind of taking their time with this, there is evolution that is happening. It feels very much tied to this energy of the Hierophant, where, the transformations that they are making within, these things are starting to kind of take measurable effect in their outside world. Somebody who's recognizing as well the need to kind of tie up some loose ends, clean up some things in their life, kind of more that needs to develop in this transformation of who they are, of how they understand themselves, and to be able to then bring that out into a life which mimics this, a life which supports that, which is able to sustain and support the potential of what exists in this connection as well. So somebody who has already kind of grown leaps and bounds in terms of how they are thinking of this. Somebody who wants to return to your life as a stable and reliable presence, an energy of certainty, an energy of sanctuary. Somebody who may be holding themselves back because, again, they recognize that there's still this internal process that needs to take place. They still have steps to go. between the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. There's still time that needs to take place. There's still things that need to be revealed and need to either be kind of removed from their life or, kind of repurposed into the material for the next phase of growth. Moving forward, they need to nourish themselves a bit more. They need to kind of fill their own cup. They need to fill their own needs and feed their heart and their life and their soul on a deeper level so that they can come into this energy, so that they can grow into this energy of being a source of stability. Somebody who does not want to return with more of that energy of chaos, but is maybe even kind of, again, praying or leaning into some kind of process of personal transformation so that they are able to kind of evolve beyond this and be that source of stability, be that source of reliability. And they have an offer in mind. They have something that they want to speak, something that they want to deliver. It's almost like a treasure that they're holding on to within themselves as all these kind of outside factors and internal factors grow and develop and change and come to that peak point. That there's this certainty, there's this decision point, there's this core, this truth of what they feel. Again, this counterpart energy, and then recognizing based on that knowledge kind of the work that they need to do within themselves and within their life to be able to step into that role. To be able to kind of take their throne, and to hold that seat of power from a place of integrity and a place of, gentleness and certainty and courage. Somebody who's stepping into that best version of self, who's evolving into that, and somebody who is recognizing kind of this element, this need for distance, this fear factor that they have, where they're leaning into this. They're appreciating that circumstances or other things are not allowing them to rush, nor are they trying to kind of bulldoze their way through that energy. They're just they're kind of sitting with that. They're allowing themselves to kind of take shape and take form in a very organic manner, which is definitely contributing to, again, the solidity, the certainty of what they have to offer, this truth of what they know they want to offer, and then becoming that, becoming a force that is able to sustain that internally and externally. And with the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles, this can also speak to somebody who's very certain about wanting a long-term commitment with you, seeing you as the one, viewing you as that person for them. But again, this element of just kind of keeping that core truth and reality with them as they are allowing these other changes to unfold, as they are making change within themselves and within their life in a variety of ways, so that when they come to you, they come correct. They come at a time when they are willing, able, and ready to really embark upon the next stage of this connection, really invest in this connection, and really open up to kind of the higher level nature of what is possible here. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you now, group 3. Okay, and they say, I've waited lifetimes to find you. So this can definitely be a past life connection, somebody who is recognizing kind of the eternity of the two of you at the soul level. This counterpart energy, this very entwined energy between the both of you. Kind of this idea of the more that they get to know themselves, the more they are able to really appreciate and see and know and love who you are as well, and how stable this connection has the potential to be, how expansive this connection has the potential to be. A sense too of wanting to really allow time to organically kind of develop things within themselves so that they enter into this space of readiness and ability to be a stable presence in your life as well. A sense that lifetimes have passed, lessons have passed, maybe even many different cycles in your lives, together in this lifetime. This can tie in with this element of years that have gone by, or significant, portion of distance between the both of you. And so this really leaning into this element of patience, that you two have searched lifetimes to come to this point. And so not wanting to rush things, wanting to do things right so that, perhaps this is the lifetime that things work out, or so that the experiences you've been through together in this lifetime, individually and together, can really have a meaning and purpose moving forward, so that it can be something where, the kind of the final chapters of the story between you in this lifetime, moving forward, are more on a positive note, are more on a stable note, that you can move beyond kind of the chaos that previous chapters between you have been up to this point. And they also say, if I had one wish. So they're kind of sitting in some regret at not having recognized or been able to kind of receive and participate in the very unique nature of this connection previously. Somebody who may kind of be in that sort of state of woe is me, kind of conflicting between abandoning that and moving more into this energy of optimism and what can grow from the future in this connection. But there is a sense here of you being wish fulfillment. Again, the more they are coming to know about themselves, the more they are able to see you and how the two of you really do complement each other. You challenge and you motivate each other to kind of step into that best version of self, spiritually, physically, emotionally, psychically, psychologically, just in all ways. And it's really, as this comparison is happening with other relationships they have been in subsequent to the connection with you, or as they're reflecting on other connections from their past, they are really able to then decipher how this connection is wish fulfillment, that you're everything that they've been looking for in a variety of ways. And they also say, I'm scared to fall in love if we are truly facing fears. So again, that energy of some wounding, some heartbreak of the past that caused them to recoil from this, push this away, and that is even still lending to this energy of kind of crawling through this process. Somebody who, it's not that they're doing the bare minimum, but they're also not taking efforts to really rush through and kind of move at a quick pace to fast track the work that is necessary, or the things that need to occur in their life in order to kind of reach that place, that crossroads where something substantial can be offered. So that energy of conflict here as well. Some fears that they have about rejection, some fears that they have about intimacy, fears of inadequacy, fears that, when you kind of scratch beneath the surface of this person, or if they come back into your life, maybe, time or the way in which you've grown individually, maybe you won't like what you see. Maybe the love that you once shared is no longer there. And so all of these things are really an element and a factor of consideration, kind of this round and round, all these different scenarios that they are thinking of at this point in time, which still, there's a positive benefit to that. They are very much actively engaged in this connection in a variety of ways. What they are actively engaging with at this point is fear, but at the same time, it is still part of their attention span, what they are focusing on. This is part of that process of growth, is to recognize these things, learn about these things, intimately identify these fears, and then be able to receive kind of that courage, or that drive, or that motivation to move beyond these things. And they also say, I'm battling my demons right now. So more of that energy of fears and conflict. There could be, again, kind of lifestyle choices that they are needing to work beyond. Maybe somebody who has some issues with addiction, for example. And it's kind of an arduous process as they are really looking in the mirror and they're really facing themselves, recognizing kind of these elements of self-sabotage, recognizing you in this connection as kind of this counterpart energy, the one they've been looking for. A connection which both challenges and encourages, and kind of the ways in which they had pushed that away, needing to come to a place of forgiveness for themselves first and foremost, so that they are able to receive forgiveness from you. Or if you're watching this reading, you're saying, well, there's nothing to forgive. This person needs to forgive something within themselves first and foremost. They feel, they carry around some kind of guilt and shame in conjunction with this connection and what has happened. They carry around some kind of guilt and shame within them about stemming from other circumstances in their life that have really contributed to kind of the distorted energy, or kind of this energy of pulling away or putting up their guard that you have encountered with them in the past or at this point. And so it's this process of kind of putting down that weaponry, putting down those sticks and those swords that they are beating themselves with, that they are attacking themselves with, and moving into that space of compassion, moving into that space of knowing that whatever has occurred in the past, however they have shown up in this connection or in their life in general, there's always the ability to change. Every moment is an opportunity to make a new decision, and this person is at that place of really surrendering to that, surrendering to the knowledge and the understanding and the truth that they are worthy and deserving of love, that as much as they may have considered themselves to be kind of a fractured person, a damaged person, that there is an innate wholeness within them that they need only recognize in order to begin that process of infusing that into all elements and aspects of their life. They also say, I am electrified by you. So definitely an intense connection that could have activated some kind of heart chakra awakening within this person, activated even a spiritual awakening within this person, an intensity here where, they very clearly cannot find this in other connections. They very clearly have not experienced this in other connections, and it's very compelling for them. It's holding their attention, even at a distance, even through time and space. You're both very much connected with one another, very much encouraging and supporting each other on this process and this journey of kind of self-discovery and forgiveness and healing. And they also say, I'm terrified by you. So that fits in very well with that energy of being electrified. They're both drawn to you and at the same time absolutely terrified of the beautiful experience of love that waits for them on the other side of transcending these blocks and barriers of fear. This is somebody who feels such a deep love for you that they can't at this point but help to kind of roll over all of those worst case scenarios about, if this connection fell apart, that possibility of having to go on in their life without you. There's a sense of almost wanting to keep this connection at arm's length because of this fear that, to taste this connection more fully than they have in the past, or, to really open themselves up to this. There's a sense of, that you would have that potential, or kind of the removal or the withdrawal of that love has the potential to completely decimate them. But at the same time, being so electrified, this is, it's compelling them beyond this energy of fear, which is running so strongly through this, through where they are at right now, that it's necessary. They're needing to face these fears, that potential of rejection, the potential that things that work out with you could at some point turn a corner, that even the most stable and solid relationship, as much love as you have for each other, there could still be things that occur in the future that come between you or tear you apart. Recognizing these things and then entering into that space of trust and faith that, this love is different. This love is worth fighting for, that it's worth taking that chance. It's worth stepping into that place of potential that things could not work out because of that beautiful and profound potential, possibility, and reality that things could actually work much better than they had expected. This person could be very accustomed to equating love and loss. And so even just the vibration, the potential that exists between the two of you, or that had been experienced in the past, of a love that is different than what they have come to know and equate with that experience with others. There's a fear of this otherness, a fear of wish fulfillment, a feeling of unworthiness within this person, a feeling that they are so maybe broken or fractured that they don't consider themselves a safe space to nurture this love, to foster this love, a fear that you would be disappointed if you really saw the truth of them, that over time you would love them less. And they're being challenged and tasked at this point of stepping into that place of faith, that their story in love can be rewritten, that this love, this unique connection, what they are feeling is exceptional for a reason. It is a gift that has been presented to them. It is this healing that their soul has been crying out for. There's a sense of the two of you really calling out to each other across distance, across lifetimes. And this is now that hurdle that this person is needing to kind of love themselves beyond. And they also say, I'm still trying to find myself. So again, that energy of kind of conflict, needing to work through some things, addressing some things, facing some shadows within themselves, to come to that place of forgiveness for ways in which they may have self-sabotaged or had really run from something pure and something true and something good, ways in which they may have kind of held you responsible for the ways that other people were careless with their heart in the past, ways in which they might have projected upon you this assumption that this connection was too good to be true, or that kind of projecting their own feelings of unworthiness by making you feel that there was something inadequate or lacking in the love that you had to give. All of this really coming to the surface within them. Again, a lot happening beneath the surface with this person. A lot of internal transmutation that is kind of on the brink, or is starting to really then manifest as transformation in their external circumstances as well. And they also say, you still hold a piece of my heart. So this is that kind of idea of the yin and the yang fitting very nicely, very seamlessly with each other on different levels, and predominantly energetically, even if there's a lot of differences between the both of you in a material sense. Kind of like night and day energy. There's a complementary aspect to this, that for all your differences, you just fit together so well. You understand each other energetically. There's a seamlessness here between the both of you. There's a sense of kind of being in your presence almost, or memories that they have had of you. There's a sense of almost peace and awareness of themselves and of the true face of love that they have not been able to experience with others since you, or even prior to this connection. And they also say, the thought of you still does things to me. So they're very much electrified by this, very much, their attention is fully on this connection to a certain extent. Obviously, this is somebody who's still, kind of dealing with a lot of fears. There's other, things in their life that they're needing to work through and needing to move beyond. This could even be somebody who's kind of in this process, maybe of traveling at this point in time, literally, or kind of exploring within themselves to get to the root of these things. But the undercurrent of that is you have their attention. This connection has their attention, the awareness and the truth of who you are and what this connection means, the significance of this, how this is different from all other connections that they've had, and kind of the potential that unlocks for a new type of understanding and encounter of love. It's something that deeply affects them. It deeply motivates them. It's something that they are puzzling out from all different angles, internally in so many ways, and from, again, a variety of perspectives and angles. It feels that throughout the day, even the fears that they are facing, in some way, the solution comes back to this connection, or this connection is kind of a light of motivation that urges them to continue forth in this process. This is definitely a connection that both challenges and motivates. The two of you very much in tandem on the 5D level. This person also really motivating and challenging you to take steps necessary to move beyond heartbreak, to move beyond stagnancy, to learn to kind of accept the disappointment that you may have experienced, to come to peace with where this person is at, allowing them that time and space to go through this process organically, shifting your focus on what you can control, what is to be learned from this, what is to be gained, how you can grow and develop from these circumstances. And so an energy also of kind of allowance, the idea of love allowing as opposed to love forcing or pressing or containing or expecting. There's this flow here that the two of you really just honoring each other, respecting each other's journey, the necessity of this journey. And really on some level, as much as, you may really want to hear from this person, there could be times where, this profound loneliness and longing overtakes you, and other times where you're very much okay with things are at. All of this being a very organic and natural part of this process. But the kind of grand theme here is this sense of, in an overall and general kind of nature, you're allowing this person the space to find themselves. Kind of in a byproduct of them maybe pushing you away, withdrawing their love, recoiling from this, was an allowance to you of the time and space to find yourself. So again, this mirrored energy, this reciprocity here. And this person almost looking at this connection as a gift. They may not be used to people who have honored their boundaries. They may not be used to people that, still held love for them, still held a place of tenderness for them that they're able to perceive energetically, despite some of this action of self-sabotage. So all of these things, as time's going on, they're coming to this point of clarity. They're coming to this point of healing. And it's something that, further down the road, they want to do something with this. They have this certainty. They recognize you as the one. And now they are engaged in this process of becoming that one, becoming that love they wish to receive, so that when they approach, when they deliver something to you, it's of value and worth. So I'm going to get some guidance for you, group 3, about the situation. Okay, and we have protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. So some guidance here that, through this process, through doing some shadow work, facing some fears that might have come up or are coming up, are being triggered at this time, even through what this person is going through and just where you are at on your own kind of personal stage of your ascension journey, that you're very much protected. This process is very much meant to happen in this way, that the core of love that you have for each other, that kind of moves between you, is something that is unbreakable. Despite time and distance that may occur, or whatever other kind of interferences and factors might sort of inhibit the growth and development of this connection. At the higher self level, you are one. You are entwined. You are assisting one another. You are guiding one another. You are encouraging one another and supporting one another in this process. If you're having a difficult time kind of moving beyond these things, or you've made some progress and you find yourself kind of going back into that energy of kind of longing and regret, maybe feeling a little bit of disappointment, things you thought you had healed and moved beyond that are now resurfacing. You're being guided to really tap into spirit, ask for relief, ask for guidance from your angels, lean upon that, lean upon spirit, ask your angels to really infuse this connection, infuse this person with kind of the love and courage necessary to take steps to, continue along their journey, to persevere in that, if only for themselves, if for nothing else, for this healing for themselves. When you approach things from that perspective, it becomes very effective. It becomes very genuine, the love that you have to give. It becomes love without condition, and is then able to be received and has a greater effect and a greater relevance, a greater value than love that is conditional. Sending love only and hoping for this person's healing only with the expectation that they will then return to you. That kind of sidetracks the energy here. It's something, one of the kind of tasks or goals is to, really invest in yourself, really learn to love yourself, and in turn, loving this person by honoring that, honoring the space, honoring their journey and the steps that are necessary, the time that is necessary at a very organic pace for them to come to this understanding, to make these changes, to make this move towards you, or with the understanding as well that you're not limited to this lifetime, regardless of what happens in terms of 3D union, in terms of, reconciliation, hearing from this person again. At the conclusion of this lifetime, you too will then realize and you'll recognize that separation is just an illusion. It's a pause, it's a momentary state while your soul is kind of wrapped up in the fabric of molecules and flesh. That it is just an illusion that kind of keeps you separate from that idea that, your soul is timeless. The two of you are entwined. You are a component of one another that has chosen to kind of express itself in this life and in this manner, precisely so that you can see beyond that illusion and recognize and honor that core truth of unity between the both of you, while also holding space for the reality of that very separateness of how you have manifested in this lifetime, these very separate journeys, separate lessons. It's almost like the soul doing work overtime, kind of learning more lessons in the form and more experiences in the form of two physical bodies, so that you're able to then fast track yourself to the next level of that sort of soul ascension going forward. On this card here, we also have Archangel Michael. So you may want to call upon him for support, call upon him for protection, call upon him to help you cut any cords of attachment with fears that are coming up, wounds in love, stemming from this person, other things in your past. The best thing that you can do for this connection is to work on yourself, to make yourself that safe space, to become that love you wish to receive, so that in time, if this person reaches that point within themselves of sticking with this work, sticking with this process, transcending these fears and being able to offer something, that you're in a place of readiness to receive. Also preparing yourself with the understanding that the universe does not want you to suffer. The universe does not want you to just dwell in a state of loneliness and stagnancy. That the more you cultivate love within you, the more you become love, you become that beacon for love in other forms to enter your life. And, so further down the road, you may encounter somebody who, is a vibrational match for you, somebody who has done that work on themselves, somebody who is, able to recognize the cup of love you have to offer, is emotionally open and available and healed enough to receive that, and has also done that work to be able to provide you with something of substance, of meaning, and of value in the future. So overall, a lot of healing happening here. You're being guided to just continue with your healing work, trust in the process, and trust also that all of this is confusing and as kind of long and drawn out as it is, it's all for kind of a larger purpose of evolution and coming to that understanding that despite all circumstances, that the current of love flows through all of these matters between you and this person. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps this video to reach others who may need to hear these messages or might resonate with that, and it also helps my channel to grow, which I deeply appreciate. If you would like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.